All right, guys, welcome to our Diesel Nation call of February 13th, 2017. Again, like time is just freaking flying. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow to all of you. I love you so much. Becky and I love you, and we appreciate everything you do. It's the I guess the holiday of love. It's not really a holiday, it's a Hallmark holiday, but of love. And so I wanted to share my appreciation for all that you do in the capacity that you do it and the reason why you do it. It's very special, and I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow with your loved ones. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Number two, we have a very special guest speaker tonight. Her name is Jillian Kaplan. I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her tell her story because it's incredibly inspiring, and I'll get to in just a second how we connected to make this call happen. But oh, good. You got it working. Perfect. So you can do it. I'll say it in just a second when I introduce her, but you guys are going to love her. And I think this topic not only is timely, but it's necessary. And she's going to be talking about time management. And you'll hear from her that she works still a full-time corporate job at a Fortune 500 company, very successful, but she finds time to work her passion, which is Beachbody. So I will get to her in just 1 second. I wanted to, though, number three, cover some very important new announcements that just came out on the National Wake Up Call. And if you guys didn't hear the National Wake Up Call this week today, please do. For the first time in a bajillion years, they had new coaches that are finding success talk about what they're doing in their business to find success. I am sure you guys are sick and tired of hearing from repeat elite superstar diamond coaches on what they're doing to be continued successes in this business. You want to hear from the people that are like you, that are in your position, that are either starting out or maybe a little bit ahead of you, or maybe you get the picture that you can catch up to that, right? So it was incredibly inspiring to hear these two coaches' stories on how they're getting momentum in their business, and they're in that, 500. One of them is like, I think, like between the $300 and $600 a week range. The other one is a little bit higher, but that to me just shows the possibilities, right? That someone that just came on board a year ago can see that kind of success, and when you get to that point, you can then see more, right? You get the goggles. I call them the vision goggles. That when you get somewhere and you're like, you have this taste of success that you're like, okay, I'm going after it more, right? And it starts with these all access challenge packs that you're selling, and you're getting that $70 commission, and that's nice. And then I'm like, okay, more, build more. Let's add some coaches. Let's start adding team cycle bonuses. So please, 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 guys, take time to listen to the podcast of the National Wake Up Call, because it really was a solid call, and we're pushing for that to continue so that you guys can hear from other coaches across the network that are seeing success. Number two, huge announcement. The All Access Challenge Pack is going to stay at $199. Collective cheer, woohoo! That's awesome, because you guys know selling that challenge pack is almost easier than selling a 140 challenge pack. And even if you don't get to sell the $199 All Access, you then can kind of say, okay, well, maybe you can't do that, but you can do the 21-day fix challenge pack, and you can share the value in that one as well. So you guys get good at this. Get good at this challenge pack. Showcase the value. All you have to do, this is almost the one challenge pack then you can kind of be salesy about. Can you guys agree with me on that? That you can say, can you give me permission to tell you why this is the best deal for you? That's what I've been saying. Do you give me permission to share with you why you need this pack as opposed to anything else? And I just lay it out. For $199, you're getting all access, the next 3 programs, the portion fix, Shakeology, and then they're like, sign me up. You know what I mean? So use this challenge pack to your advantage. It is how a new coach can gain leverage. So if you're finding success with it, clearly pass that on to your team and to your coaches. That is going to be 2 successful points starting in March. Okay, so this month of March, which is Team Cup month, which we are kicking butt at, you still get 3 points for this challenge pack. But starting March 1st, it's going down to 2 points, okay? And some people are like, wah, wah. I want it to be 3. Well, there's a reason why it's not 3. And it's something that I kind of saw happening, especially after Super Saturday. because you only needed to help 2 people, and they even started that whole hashtag help 2, which I disagreed with, because it was setting minimums on your business instead of maximums. So while if we would have kept it at 2 points and you would have sold 3 of those suckers to earn Success Club, you would have made $210 as opposed to 140. Does that make sense? So we're upping the game again. Like, forget that 3 points. Let's go back to 2. Let's make people work to help 3 or more. Let's get our commissions higher. Let's be rewarded for our efforts. So I love this shift into the 2 points. Some people might be wah, but I like it. So we're doing that. And then what the other big thing that came out of the CAB meetings last week, which I got to represent our team and the network there, it was so awesome, was now we've bumped up Shakeology HD to 2 points. So let me just talk to you quickly about why that's so important. I don't know about you, which I'm pretty certain I know about you because we're in the same business, that you get a lot of people that have already bought programs. They already have the 21-day fix because their abuela or their tia or whoever lent them the 21-day fix, right? Right? Does that happen all the freaking time? Or they bought it off Amazon, or they already have on demand, or I mean, I could go on and on about all these people that are already Beachbody customers because of our fitness. So instead of now having those awkward conversations, which were kind of awkward because they're like, I want to do the 21-day fix, I already have it. Before, we wanted to try to upsell them on a challenge pack, right? So that we could get those 2 points. We don't have to do that anymore. We can focus our attention, focus our efforts on just getting that customer on Shakeology. In fact, it even makes it better because we know when they do buy Shakeology that they really want it instead of being forced into it. So I love this, that now we don't have to have those awkward conversations with someone. Well, you know, if you just get this, you'll get this. No, let's just get you on Shakeology. I'm being rewarded. You're being rewarded. Let's get to work, right? So that's huge. I think that's going to be a game changer, more than the 3 points of the all access. So embrace it. Teach your downlines that now they are going to get Shakeology HD with 2 points. And what's cool, if you're in the lead system, can you tell I'm jazzed up about this? If you're in the lead system, you know that there's months where you'll get that like off, you know, Shakeology HD customer, and that one random point shows up in your back office and you're like, yes, I'm on the board. Well, now you're going to get 2 points for that customer instead of 1. I mean, everybody's nodding their head like, yeah, I know about that customer. Yeah. So it's going to be 2 points now instead of 1. All right. I'm just going to wrap this up with saying, you guys, this month is young. It is February 13th. There is still ample time to get on the board, to hit Success Hub, to help your team get some prizes, to just move your business forward, to engage with your team, to ask for help, to just get your energy up and get moving in February. You know, what happens at this time of the year, it's always kind of slow at the beginning of February, but it picks up after Valentine's Day, because what happens, not only are people overeat and overdrink on Valentine's Day, but they're getting their refund checks from their tax returns, and people are more akin to spending a little bit freer after they get that return. So step up your game, pick your program, drink your shake, and just share the journey and start starting your challenge groups. Push 4 started today. That's going to be incredible. There's over 300 coaches in that group. The Elite Mastermind continues in all of its awesomeness. You guys, there's momentum on this team like never before. You just got to get on the wave with us and ride it. Okay. So with that said, I am so jazzed up with our special guest, Jillian Kaplan. So just to give you a little bit of overview, a few weeks ago, there's this group that we're a part of. It's a leadership group. It's actually push 4, Sue. I made the mistake and said it was push 3, and we already had a push 3, so it's push 4. Gotta fix that. Jillian posted really early in the morning, and I just so happened to be awake. Does anyone want to swap calls? And I commented right away because I already knew her story. She had posted it on the wall for 5 stars and above, and I was completely inspired by her. So when she posted, does anybody want to swap calls? I'm like, me! Like I jumped, right? I'm like, I gotcha. And so here she is. I already did her call for her awesome team, and so she's with us tonight. She has been a coach since June of 2014, so fairly new in the business. She's a 5-star diamond, two-time elite coach. Like I said, she has a full-time job at a Fortune 500 company. She is a wife. She is an animal advocate, and she's a trauma survivor, which is part of her story that she'll share with you tonight on overcoming the unthinkable and continuing to progress your business. So without further ado, I want to introduce my new friend, Jillian Kaplan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here tonight. Because I work in corporate America, I'm a little OCD type A, and so I have a presentation for you guys. I am going to share it. Can everyone see that? Yes? Okay, cool. And Christina has a copy of this, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't write fast enough. How do I get this all in? There's a copy of this, so you can look at it later. I'm going to talk to you tonight about overcoming obstacles and making the most of your time. And I know that some people are probably like, these don't mesh, but they really do, because when life throws you lemons and you know what you need to do, right, and you already have kind of a plan of attack, it's very, very easy to stay on track. Whereas if you're like all over the place and life throws you a lemon, you're kind of like, I don't even know where to start, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I was when I started this journey. So I am a girl that likes what I do for work. Honestly, I like my 9 to 5. It fulfills me in a different way than Beachbody does. I love Beachbody also. But I'm very like math brained, and I'm an engineer, so I get to do a lot of geeky things at work, which I love. And so I started Beachbody as a customer, and I was a yo-yo dieter, a former yo-yo dieter. I was a binge eater. I was a diet pill addict. I had tried everything, right? And I saw my coach now posting about 21 Day Fix, and I had done P90X like forever ago. I bought it on eBay and I had great results with it, but then I didn't know anything about coaches and I fell off track, which is what happens when you don't have a coach, right? And so I went back to my yo-yo dieting, and so I decided to try 21 Day Fix as a customer, and I fell in love with the community and the programs, and I signed up to coach for the discount, because why not? I had a lot of digestive issues, and Shakeology literally like fixed them. It was amazing. So I thought, okay, I'm going to definitely do this for the discount. People started noticing differences in me. They're like, you look great. What are you doing? And so I kind of explain, like, this is what I'm doing. And that's how my coaching business grew. And it grew, pretty fast in the beginning. And then 2015 really took off. And I had the honor of leading an elite team in 2015, which was amazing. And I was kind of like blown away by this opportunity. I never thought that this is what it would be like for me. And so I had some really good results. On the left is sort of like my overall results. And on the right, you can see that's this Fix Extreme Countdown to Competition plan. Those results were like amazing. So I worked really, really hard. And, I had just come from Summit 2016 last year. I literally just got home. In 2015, I had like one coach with me, and it was super fun. We had a great time. In 2016, I had a whole team. I was able to like rent a house for us. It was so fulfilling. And I got home and I got this email that I was chosen for the Core to Force test group, which is like not something you can apply for or earn or anything. Someone just has to like pick you. And I like jumped off the couch. My husband probably thought I like won the lottery or something. I was so excited. So, I'm like on this high, right? Like I had this amazing time at Summit. I had my whole team there. I got chosen for the Core to Force test group. There was so much recognition because we were a 2015 elite team. And I was like, just excited. I was just excited. And then because life throws you some crazy curveballs, a really crazy thing happened to me. August 10th, so about 10 days after I got home from Summit, I was walking my dog in a crosswalk, broad daylight, 8 a.m., and I got hit at full speed by a car. I had emergency brain surgery to save my life. I shattered my entire pelvis. I don't remember anything. I was in the ICU for a week, and then I was in a rehab hospital for a month. I was wheelchair bound. I wasn't able to stand. I was allowed to like pivot in and out of my wheelchair so I could like go to the bathroom and stuff for 2 months. And from there, I went to crutches and walking and whatever. And I will tell you guys that before this accident, I didn't have this huge why. And I was always sort of jealous of these coaches that did. I didn't have a job I hated. I wasn't in a ton of debt. I didn't have kids I wanted to stay home with. I just loved what I did. I just loved this business. But I will tell you that being fit saved my life. Like the doctors have told me that I would not have survived that trauma if I wasn't fit. And if I did survive that trauma, I never would have recovered the way I did. Everyone at the scene did not expect me to live through the accident. They had me in brain surgery within 30 minutes of getting to the hospital to save my life. They thought I'd have brain damage. I don't have brain damage. They said I'd never walk again. I'm walking, I'm doing fitness programs. I'm doing all the things they said I would never do. And while I needed to be physically fit, I also had to be mentally fit. And that's sort of where Beachbody came in. So you'll see like my picture on the left, I'm kind of a hot mess. That was, you could see like my half shaved head. I have a weave now, so I fixed that situation. But you can see that on the left, that's like right after the accident. And then you can see sort of in the middle, I'm on crutches, standing, and I had this crazy thing in my pelvis. I had 4 holes drilled through my skin and this thing holding my pelvis together. So instead of putting a bunch of plates in my pelvis, which would have probably been easier in the short term, but harder in the long run, my husband decided to have this fixator put in for me, which was a great decision because when it came out, all the metal came out of my body. My pelvis basically regrew the way it was supposed to, and all the metal came out of my body. And now I just have a regular pelvis. I have no pain. I'm like a weird science experiment. That's what I tell them. I feel like my doctors are like amazed by me. And then you'll see like I kind of had to start over. So I actually didn't gain a ton of weight when I was in the hospital, but when you can't stand for 2 months, you lose a lot of your muscle. Like that's just reality. And so those are finally when I got to do my first round of core de force in November, I was supposed to be able to start, in August, really disappointing, but I got to start in November when the program actually launched. Those were my first results. And the fact that I was able to complete a program from start to finish, 3 months after I got hit by a car and nearly died and shattered my entire pelvis is like unbelievable. And so my passion for this business has grown so much more because I know that like being healthy isn't about skinny jeans anymore for me, right? It's about like surviving stuff like this and being overall healthy and like just I can't even tell you how much it's helped me. And so through this entire ordeal, I continued to work my business. And I will tell you that I'm a worker. Like I like to work. And so I was out on disability from my 9 to 5. And while you're out on disability, you're not allowed to do anything. Like I was like not allowed to get into my email. I was not allowed to do anything because I was still in the hospital and the doctors had not cleared me. But without Beachbody, I literally would have been sitting staring at the wall the entire day. But this gave me like a sense of purpose and a sense of something to do. And if I help one person by like inspiring them, I would like sit in my hospital bed and literally have like a band. I'd be like lifting weights. People would be like, what the heck is she doing? Like, she shouldn't be doing that. But honestly, it gave me like a sense of who I was again, a sense of purpose. I knew that I had to keep moving because that is the reason I survived. Because I kept moving. So I'm going to go through sort of the stuff that I had established before this accident so that I knew exactly what I had to do, right, to keep going. And this, like, just having this sense of purpose is really the reason I continued my business. Like, it was just so important to me. And I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, well, if you can do it from a wheelchair, like, because I was literally doing core de force from a wheelchair in the beginning, then I can probably give it a shot, right? And that's the truth. Like you have so much to offer someone, like even if you're modifying, even if you have to watch different kind of things. You have special meal plans because you can't eat, or you have to be careful of what you work out. Like, you have so much to offer and inspire someone, and you don't have to make it like this. It doesn't have to be as bad as an accident as me to inspire someone, right? We all have something we're going through that someone else is going through that you can help them with. So I'm going to go into like my nitty gritty stuff and sort of what I do every day, every week, and what has helped me stay on track with my business through all of this. After this accident, Elite was hard this year. I will be honest with you guys, like, it was harder than last year, and I wasn't sure it was going to happen. And it did, because I had all this stuff in place. I had this amazing team of people that were there for me. And I always tell them, like, guys, no excuses. And so I came back when I came to and was coherent again and posting my group. They're like, you didn't miss a beat. I'm like, I told you guys, no excuses, right? If I'm going to give you a rule, I'm going to live by it. They think I'm like ridiculous, but that's okay, because it's ridiculous in a good way. So this is my power hour list, and honestly, it's the same every week and every day. And while this stuff might seem like the mundane stuff, like the boring stuff, this is the stuff that you're going to do that's going to move your business forward. It's going to get to do the glamorous stuff, right? Like, this is the stuff that has to be done in order to get to the glamour. So I write out my power hour to-do list every single day, which is pretty much the same. I write out my goals and follow a list. I call them, they're really more like actions than goals. I feel like goals to me means like it might happen, but actions means it's going to happen. I read and listen to my personal development every day. I often will multitask this. So like, I'll put something on while I'm cooking dinner, or, doing something with my dog, or on my lunch, or whatever. I work on me, and I lead by example. So I'm not big into dragging my team along or telling them what to do. I'm big into showing them what to do. So that's the first thing. Like, if you want coaches on your team to be hitting Success Club 10, you have to be hitting Success Club 10, right? Having the right mindset and intentions. I want to help as many people as possible without expecting anything in return. And I'm going to go over this a little bit on the next slide and how I do this. And then number 6 is the biggest one to me. So you'll see, like, all the top coaches are totally different. They come from different backgrounds. Some are married, some have kids, some are men, some are women. They're from all over, but they never make excuses and they never complain, right? So if they miss a goal, they're like, yep, that's on me. That happened because of something that I did. They never like put the blame on someone else, and they don't complain about it. So that to me is super important. What does my power hour look like? And like I said, there's a copy of this, so don't freak out if you can't write fast enough. I add new people to my network, 3 to 5 people a day or 20 people a week. The chat is going crazy. I don't know if I'm supposed to be answering it, so sorry if I am. I will take questions at the end, I promise. I return all of my messages. I build 2 to 5 new relationships with people who like or comment on my posts. I invite 2 to 3 people daily to my next challenge group. And I'm going to go over like how I invite them on my next slide, because I have to stay really focused with the amount of time I have. I used to work my business in probably about 10 hours a week. I'm about up to 15 now, but I really have to stay focused because that's the amount of time I have. I follow up with people I talk to about my challenge or my business opportunity. Follow up is super important, you guys. I make a to-do list for tomorrow, who's on my list to follow up with. I post on my team's page. I'm kind of spastic about this, but if I see something I love or I read something in my personal development, it's going on my page. I post on Facebook or Instagram. If you are using a different platform, obviously that's fine. At least 2 times a day. You have to share your journey, more about your business, share your story, who you are, all that stuff. I put the business in front of 3 to 5 people a week. And this is what I focus on every day. Seriously, every day. I'm not going to tell you that I never take breaks, because I do, but they are planned. So for example, when I went on the Beachbody cruise, I made the decision that I was shutting off my phone. And I told my audience I was taking a break from social media, and I was going to be unplugged for those 5 days. And I did. I unplugged. I carried around a regular camera, and everyone was like, what is that? I'm like, it's a regular camera. Works just like your cell phone camera, right? And that's okay. Like, you should take those breaks, but they should be planned. You shouldn't just like take a week off and not tell your audience you're going away. But your audience is totally respects that, right? They're like, she's taking a week of vacation, good for her, right? And I got to talk about how I earn my vacation, that sort of stuff. So, but this stuff happens every day. Like, literally, I think like when I finally got my cell phone back in the hospital, I was back to doing this stuff. It gave me a sense of purpose. It let me continue to help people and let me continue to help my team, which was just so important for my recovery. I didn't have to sit around thinking about how sorry I was for myself. And I'll tell you that I never once felt bad for myself, even though like it was a very unfortunate accident. I had no control over it. I never once have felt bad for myself through this entire thing. I felt thankful for what I have and how amazingly that I've been able to recover. And I will tell you, like, just as I guess a little like side note for Beachbody, they were amazing to me through this whole thing. Like, they flew someone out from corporate from Utah to see me and visit me at home, like a couple days after I got home from rehab. They brought me some clothes, like larger size clothes that I could wear over that crazy contraption around my hips and Beachbody gear. It was like beyond. As soon as they found out about it, they contacted my husband. They've been amazing. So we are so lucky to work for this company, with this company. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about how my calendar works and how I stay really focused throughout the month. So you'll see on the month is like the first Monday of the month, there's usually something, each Monday of the month, there's usually something starting, right? So the first Monday of the month, I do a free group, and I offer it with the 7-Day Shakeology Jumpstart that you can get in the back office. You can get a sample pack. So some people just do it without it. That's totally fine. This month we did a meal prep group. So I have a free group running all the time, and then the first Monday of the month, I kind of make it like the week of I focus. So in January, we did 7 days of crock pot clean eating. And then in February, we did this meal prep, like information, like how to prep, and people just have no idea how to prep and how easy it can be, right? So that allows me to invite people to this free group, see who I can start chatting with and who might be interested in, like, I'll call it, it's not really paid, but a group where people have to purchase something to get in, right? So they purchased a program or Shakeology or the performance line or something like that, or all of those things. And so that group will always start the week after my free group starts, so that I can hit Success Club, in the first 2 weeks of the month. And then I can start working on the vital process and converting those awesome challengers to coaches in the second half of the month. So I'm only inviting to one thing at a time. I'm inviting to my free group / Shakeology Jumpstart. Then I'm inviting to my group where people have to purchase something to get in. And then from there, I'm inviting to my intro to coaching group, which is like a free group where we teach what we do about coaches. And I do a call during that group, a live call. And so those people that I see that are rocking the challenge group, I can say, hey, like, we're running this free group next week to teach you what we do about coaches. Do you want to join us? So that's how I sort of schedule my month. So I only have to invite to one thing at a time. I can stay super focused. You'll see, like, my posts the week before my free group are all about my free group and breadcrumbing for my free group, and then a call to action. Then once my free group has started, my posts are all about my challenge group, and then my challenge group just started today. So now I'm going to be breadcrumbing a lot about coaching, and then inviting to my intro to coaching group, which starts on Monday. So that's how I stay organized. I'm not saying that's how you need to stay organized, but it's super effective for me and with my time management, because I was finding there were so many things going on that I was like, oh, maybe I should invite to this and that. And if you see someone that posts something in your team page that has a great idea, be like, hey, can I join? Or hey, can I have the template, and put it away in your Google Docs and store it for a rainy day. But like, don't get overwhelmed and crazy about like adding people to so many different things, because I think that's where people get sidetracked and deterred. It's just important to stay focused if you're struggling with time management. Okay. All right. So a lot of people ask me about inviting because that's what I talk a lot about. I will tell you that I guess I'm not like the person that everyone just comes to. I'm not like the attraction marketing queen. I would say about 80% of my business is me reaching out to people and 20% is people coming to me. It used to be more like 95 me reaching out and 5% coming to me. I've gotten better at it, but I still have to invite every single day. I invite people. People that like my post, people that comment, like anyone who I have interaction with, I'll reach out to people based on their posts, that sort of stuff. So compliment, comment, question, you guys have probably heard that before, but really important to kind of finish every sentence with a question so that the person has something to respond to, right? More personal questions, general questions, have you considered? This is really important. Use their name. Like when you start sending people, hey hon, hey babe, hey sweetie, I think it seems less genuine, especially like on Instagram where people don't have their names. If you take the 5 seconds to look at their profile and figure out their name, if you send them a message and you're like, hey, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is spelled differently than it normally is, they will probably write you back and be like, oh my goodness, like you actually spelled my name correctly. And like, that's a huge win for you, right? That's like creating a relationship. What did Carl say? How to open a relationship, not close a sale. That's exactly what we want to do with these conversations. Some good questions. How long have you been into XYZ? Would you rather blank or blank? What have you tried in the past? What's your best advice? What would you recommend? All these great things to start to chat with people. Okay, I talked a lot about posting too, super important. I find the best times for me are actually in the evenings, probably Sunday to Thursday evenings are the best. I still post like all weekend and during the day. I post before work, on my lunch, and then 1 to 2 times after work. The before work and lunch posts are usually pre-planned. They're sitting in my Google Notes, and all I have to do is kind of copy and paste them on. So I don't have to think about it because sometimes I get a full lunch and sometimes I get like 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. So this way I have it all planned out and I don't have to necessarily think about it. So this is a great planner if you don't know what the heck to post about. Okay, and I'm going to give you my top 5 time management tips for those of you that are feeling overwhelmed with time management. Have a plan and stick to it. So like I said, if someone is posting about a cool group, that's awesome. Get it on your calendar for next month. Maybe if you're concentrating on something else, you don't do it this month, and that's okay. Do it every day, every day, every day, every day. Seriously, every day. Put the necessary before the fun. So I'm a math person. I can run reports in the back office. I can figure out all the numbers. If you ask me to do a flyer, which I tried to do in the beginning, it will take me about 3 hours and it will look like my dog did it. And I'm not exaggerating. They are horrendous. I have stopped doing that. I used to like drive myself nuts and be like, why can't I do this? If I need a flyer or something creative done, I did not do that calendar. I use a service called Fiverr, Fiverr. It is $5 to get something like that done. And I will tell you that $5 is worth 3 hours of my time, and it looks a million times better. So if you are struggling with something, outsource it. I know that you're probably like, oh, I'm like just a brand new coach, I can't outsource it. Of course you can, right? Invest that little bit now so that you don't have to like invest all that time later. Don't like worry about what you're not good at. You should be strengthening what you are good at. It's not worth it. I learned that lesson the hard way. But if you love doing flyers or you love, like I love running all these reports, but I just like everyone else, messaging is hard for me, but I do the messaging first, the necessary before the fun. It is so, so, so important because if not, if you're just like scrolling on Facebook because you find that fun and you're like, oh, I just worked for an hour and I don't know, my power hour is done, but you didn't actually do anything because you were just scrolling, that's not helpful, right? Take your hardships and turn them into success. And I'm a prime example of that. We've all had something not so awesome happen to us in our life. And if we can find a way to share that and help others, it will help you tremendously, not only in your business, but in your personal journey. Like, truthfully, the reason I continued my business was selfishly for me. Like, I did it because I needed it for myself, and I needed to be able to feel fulfilled and help people for myself while I was sitting in a hospital bed 24/7. I will tell you, in the ICU, I didn't feel, it wasn't that hard because I had like my family there 24/7 and nurses waiting on me hand and foot. And I don't remember a lot, to be honest. And then when I got to rehab, everyone else in rehab is like 95, and that's not an exaggeration. And that was mentally a very hard time for me because I had sent my husband back to work. So I'm like, you can't just stare at me all day, every day. And I was by myself in a bed, and I had no one to talk to. The nurses were busy. I didn't have one-on-one care anymore. They came in and gave me my meds and went do something else. I went to PT and OT, a couple hours a day. But other than that, I was just sort of sitting there. So this gave me like a sense of purpose and something to do, to feel fulfilled and be able to help myself and so many other people. And like I said, I know that being fit literally saved my life. And so I had to continue to work on that. And then stop scrolling. Like, that's not working. Like, scrolling on your phone does not equate to doing your power hour and getting your work done. So, all right. Assignment. So I'm going to challenge you guys to take a look at your calendar for next month and write down what it's going to look like. Maybe you even do April too. My calendar is out to May at this point because I want my team to know what I'm doing and what's going on, right? So lead by example. What are you going to be inviting to? So what do you have starting next week that you're going to spend this week inviting to, right? Because you want to start inviting, 7 to 10 days ahead of time. And then start reaching out today. Like, start reaching out to people and inviting them to join you on whatever it is that you're starting, because I'm sure whatever it is, someone wants to join you. You just have to find them and reach out to them. I will tell you that this is a sensitive business we're in. And what I mean is, this isn't candles, this isn't makeup, it's not purses. We're talking about people's health and fitness. And it's really hard and sometimes embarrassing for someone to reach out to you and say, I need help. So when you reach out to them, you're actually opening that relationship. And I will tell you, like, people that, other people would say, oh, I bothered them. People will say to me, oh my God, thank you for not giving up on me. And they'll commit, right? A year later, 6 months later, and they will thank me for continuing to follow up with them. Even though you might feel like, oh, I'm being annoying. You're not being annoying. You are helping them. You are reaching out to them. You are making it easy for them to speak to you, because like I said, as someone who is overweight, I will tell you that sending that first message to my coach to say, I need help, was really difficult for me. So that is what I have. I'm going to stop my share. I'm happy to take any questions. I didn't look at the chat, but it's very busy.
It is. Everybody was like fired up. Jill, that was amazing. Where'd you go? I can't see you now.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. I got like, I don't like doing speaker view. I like having everybody there. You guys, can we agree that was phenomenal? Right? Sometimes it's just in these very to-do calls that you have your biggest aha moments, because you realize that this business isn't that hard. What's hard is actually just doing it. and the things that stood out to me, I wrote them down. Jillian is very intentional about her business. It's something that I actually am a little bit jealous of, because I am not as intentional. Even though you guys are looking at, what we do for the team, and you're saying, okay, what we're intentional. I see more structure, more organization, and looking back to when I was working a full-time job, I was nothing like Jillian, and it caused a lot of stress. And so the reason why I love this call so much is because I want to alleviate that stress from you. That this business is supposed to bring you joy. And I can hear it in Jillian's voice that even though she has a full-time job, she suffered this traumatic life-altering experience, that she has other passions outside of Beachbody, that this business, even with all of that, it still brings her joy. And we've had conversations, Jillian and I, on like the wall and post about her team and how much her team means to her and how they brought her out of this dark place. And it's very powerful when you embrace the business as a whole and not just something that like, oh, I have to do it. Like, embrace the community, embrace the action, embrace the process, because it's in that process that you have all these breakthroughs, not only in your business but in your personal life as well. And I think Jillian is such a testament to that. Something that stood out, and Jillian, people can ask questions, but she plans. This was something that I didn't start doing until well into my business. So as you're still sitting, if you're sitting here as a fairly new coach, maybe a brand new coach, or someone that's kind of getting back into the business, or even a leader that feels unorganized, take it from Jillian. She plans. She looks at the month ahead, blah, blah, blah. She looks at the month ahead and says, how can I serve not only my team better, but also my clients better? I love that she starts the month with a free group, because what does that scream? Pipeline, pipeline, pipeline. Do you have a funnel of people, right? So I always tell my new coaches, you start in your warm market. Why? Because that is the people that you already have built in trust with, right? That's who you start with. That's who you start talking to. And everybody here that has new coaches should be telling their new coaches this, right? You don't want to just go on social media and say, I'm a coach, without having first had a discussion with your sister, your brother, your mother, your coworkers, those people in your life that already believe in you, right? That's where you start. Then how do you get more people? You have a pipeline. So you do have to kind of put some work in and host free groups and invite daily. Like Jillian said, I love, Jillian, absolutely love that you were 100% honest. And when you said, I still invite 80% of the time. I think a lot of people, and when I say invite, that means she's messaging people. She's building relationships. People that like her post, she's reaching out. She's following up with the people that funneled through a free group. That there's a lot of work that is behind the scenes, because I know you guys follow a lot of the Matt Ways and the Mitchells and the Bonnie Engels of the world, who can just throw a post up and attract, have 85 emails left, right? And you're like, well, I what? And I still do that all the time. I'm like, how the F did that happen? And guess what? That's not going to happen for 99% of us who still have to put in work behind the scenes. And trust me, even when you have someone's email, that doesn't guarantee a sale, right? There's still work that has to be done. So I love that. Get good at inviting and your business will change. Get good at the art of communication. Loved when she said, don't call people pet names. Well, when someone calls me a pet name, the hairs on my back stand up and it's like nails on a chalkboard. I understand, be yourself, but also call people by their name. Be professional. This is something where you got to build trust and you don't want to alienate people right away. Love that. She gave examples of how she shoots out messages. She has a follow-up system. Guys, a list is key in this business, because you will forget. Life will happen. You are going to have you're going to go on a trip to Las Vegas and Utah and then have to come back and say, where am I at? If I have a list, what can I do? Go back to my list. Start from scratch. Get back to following up with the people that I had talked to either before or during my trip. Lists are absolutely perfect. And then key quote that I wrote down is, don't worry about what you're not good at and strengthen what you are, right? So many times we focus on what we're bad at. And I'm not saying ignore that, because I think if you want to build a team and step up into leadership, you have to acknowledge your weaknesses and work on them, but harness your strengths and run with them. Does that make sense? Right? Public speaking, leading big groups of people, inspiring leaders. That's what I feel I am good at. I am not good at the numbers and the tracking. That's why we have other people teach that. You know what I mean? But so you have to figure out, what are you good at, and then harness it, and not only harness it, but teach your team. what you're doing. Duplication is always the critical component to our business. So now, because I like to talk and you guys know that, I will ask anyone if they have a burning question to either post it in the thread. Yeah, I hate it when a stranger calls me sweetie. Exactly. Think about that. Let's see. Sylvia, 2 questions. What's the name of the outsource for your flyers? I think Rolly shared that. Fiverr. And how often do you follow up? So Jillian, that's a good question. How often do you follow up? You know, when someone says something and they don't respond, what's your practice?
So I usually, when someone says I'm going to take a look at it, I'll say, okay, great. When should I follow up? Right. So I'll ask them what works for them. So in that case, I will follow up when they ask me to follow up. If I get a no response, honestly, I will let it go until my next challenge group is going to start. And I'll say something like, hey, I know last month wasn't great for you, but I'm starting up my challenge group this month. Is this month better? So it's either kind of dictated by when they ask for a follow-up, or if they completely ignore me, I will follow up when I'm getting ready to send my next group of invites. I think that it's really important to have that challenge group early in the month so that like I can hit Success Club early and not, I'm going to say worry about it, because that's the truth, right? I don't want to be at Success Club 4 on the 30th. Like I just don't, I can't do it. So I make sure that, you know, I reach out like that week before my challenge group is starting so that I can make sure to get all my Success Club points all set. And my challenge group is also full. I want people to start together. That's the reality too, right? Like it started today, and if people come to me, I'll certainly help them, but I'm not going to be specifically posting about joining my challenge group or messaging about it. I'm going to be messaging about coaching now until the rest of the month.
That's a good point. I do that too, what Jillian suggested, where I will ask when to follow up, right? You know, if I send them a video, which I'm big into shooting out third-party tools, I think that's how you run this business. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, read GoPro. But I do ask for the follow-up. And if I don't hear back, I sometimes will wait like Jillian. Sometimes I'll use humor to make them respond. I'll say, hey, I am still holding my breath and I'm about to pass out. Can you please shoot me a message back so that I know everything's okay, or something to that extent, to get them talking to me again. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the group. It could just be like, hello, anybody out there? And then they'll be like, yes, oh my God, I had such a busy week at work. And something always comes up. So you just got to play it cool and say, dude, I know. It's cool, but I was starting to think you hated me, or something like that, you know, and that always makes them laugh. It kind of breaks the ice. So that's another tip that I can share with you guys. And let's see. So if a group is closed and let's say started today or last week, do you allow them or invite them to the next month's group?
I will let them in I want them to get help as soon as they can, right? And especially because we have on demand right away. They're going to have access right away, whether they purchase a regular challenge pack and get their 30 days on demand, or they get the all access. So I'm going to let them in, but I'm just going to let them know like, hey, my group is, you know, in week 2 or week 3. So people will be a little bit ahead of you, but I always let people in my next group. And I'm very like, if they need the help, I'm going to help them. If someone bought 21 Day Fix on Amazon, no big deal. You get a free account with me so I can ensure that you don't have a coach already, right? And you can join me. That's what I meant when I said, like, you have to help people without expecting anything in return. And those people, honestly, 9 times out of 10, they're going to end up purchasing from you, but you can't like expect it right away. It has to be like patience and, you know, just waiting for them to sort of come around. Let's be honest, if they buy 21 Day Fix, like every end of the video is like, go drink your Shakeology. Eventually they're going to be like, what's Shakeology? And you're going to get to have that conversation. I
think I'm going to coin the term, Jillian, patience and pipeline, right? You got to have patience, but you have to have a healthy pipeline. And if you can have that, your business is kind of going to flow. And that's what I want for everybody, that, you know, there's a healthy flow of conversations where, you know, at the end of the month, you've already hit Success Hub, and at the beginning of the month, you're already knowing you've got a healthy pipeline of people to talk to. So that's the goal. And if you can have that ease by putting in the work and having a lot of conversations and inviting to free groups and just adding value and showcasing that you do care about them and help them get results, patience and pipeline, your business is going to free flow. And yes, there's going to be months where you're going to be like, crap, it's hard this month. That's always going to happen. That's business. But if you have this, you understand that that's going to happen. And so you'll pick up the pace when you foresee that times are going to get kind of rough. And then you'll reap the benefits of the times that are like harvest season, right? Which we're about to come into when tax returns come in. I just wanted to, before we jump off the call, mention something about outsourcing. I've been in the business for 6.5 years, and it wasn't until 2016 that I started outsourcing. So I don't want you to think that you have to do that to be successful. But I agree with Jillian 8,000,000%. If you are bad at it, if it causes you stress to do a rank advancement collage or a team calendar or an image announcing your new team builder or team business starter, and that is just taking time from your family and from your business and from the important things, then outsource, right? Have someone else do that. You can find on Fiverr, you can have people do that for $5, $6, and those $5 are going to save you a lot of patience and time and energy, because some people just aren't good at that, right? I'm not good at running reports, so that's what I have someone do. So I wanted to throw that out there to really, if it's something that is just not something that you find is productive for your business, then you can find help. And it doesn't have to be expensive help. It just can be like someone cleaning your house, right? Making sure that you earn enough money every month to pay for the lady that cleans your house, so that you're not spending hours on a Saturday or whenever, when you can be with your family, you can be working your business, doing something that somebody else can do. And in the meantime, blessing that person. I like to emphasize that, right? I have someone that cleans my house, and I'm blessed enough to have someone to help with the laundry, but it's not just a blessing on me. It's a blessing on them too. I'm helping them. So if that's something that you feel is time wasted, that you can be, instead of folding laundry, you can be helping someone or starting a challenge group or, doing team calls, then those are the things that you should be kind of dedicating your profits to, your income to. Does that make sense? And I just gave my whole team permission to go get a cleaning lady. Yes, I did.
I don't, and I agree with you. And I don't think it needs to be like a full-time assistant, like literally $5. And I pulled my hair out for a year. So I tell my team, I'm like, you guys, like, go find someone to do. And if you saw my flyers, you'd be like, you spent 3 hours on that? That's terrible. So, I just, you have to like think about what's worth it and what's not,
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. I mean, it's already 9:30. We're going to the hour mark. Jillian, this was a very helpful, useful, well thought out call. Can we agree? Yes? Yeah? Oh my God, super. And I think it was perfect if you are in the push for, because today Mindy talked about this, right? About being intentional, about planning your month. Like, this was all the stuff. So it just kind of was beautiful. Well, you guys, Jillian, thank you again. We'd love to have you talk on our team calls often. You were phenomenal. I appreciate you, and I love your story, and it's so inspiring. You guys, month is young, like we started. February 13th, make it happen. Let's have a record number of coaches in success. Oh, Selena, look at the baby. We have a new Diesel Nation member. We've had a few new Diesel Nation members join the fray in the last couple of weeks. You guys, happy Valentine's Day. Go out there, love hard on your family, love hard on your challengers, love hard on your coaches, and you'll see your whole life change. So love you guys. I'll post a recording in just a second. Bye.